What's happening, everyone? Welcome back, and thank you for stopping in. Tonight, I have an exciting first impressions to do for you guys. This is the first time that I've had an off-grid knives come on the channel, so this will be my very first impressions of this guy, other than when I unboxed him, of course. I took a small look at this initially, but other than that, I didn't do much else other than look. This is a loaner knife coming in from Bobby Stitches, issuing stitches. He makes hanks and sells hanks on his Etsy store. I will have that link down below. You can use code GBALL10, all caps. That will get you 10% off your entire order. Whether you order a couple of things or 10 or 12 things, you can use that code, get yourself 10% off. He has all kinds of different prints, microfibers. His stitching is awesome. Bobby is awesome. So head on down there and give him a look on his Etsy store. His Instagram is also linked down there. If you want to go give him a follow, you might as well. He's a great dude, and I appreciate him so much. He's a huge, huge supporter of the channel. So let's hop into this bad boy. This is the Off-Grid Knives Viper. I'm assuming this is one of their more budget-friendly models. Cryo D2, yep. And they have some more budget-ended knives, and then they have a huge range of knives, I think, from under $100 up to a couple $100. So it just, they kind of are trying to hit all kinds of phases in the knife market, which I applaud any company who is doing that. And Off-Grid is a little newer of a company, at least to me. I have only ever had this knife come into the channel. I've thought about picking up a few of their models at certain points, and then I never did. But we'll go ahead and just do a initial first impressions. We're not going to really get into a detailed overview on this one. I will do a full detailed overview of this guy. There will probably not be a short-term review done on this guy just because of the amount of knives Bobby has sent in. I will not be able to do first impressions, overviews, and short-term reviews on all of them and do it properly, at least the short-term reviews. It wouldn't be possible to do them at this point. So let's start with the blade here. I like the looks of this. It's a drop point. It has almost like a slight clip to it though. I like the jimping up here. It's almost looks like a weave type pattern, but it's not. It's pretty unique looking, not something you see every day on knives. It doesn't provide a ton of traction like your standard fine jimping or even your larger gapped jimping. This is a little different. This is more recessed jimping, maybe more for the aesthetic appeal, which it does look good like that. It almost kind of reminds you of a saw, and maybe that's what they was going for there. It does look like that, but you have this very small belly here, which this is a pretty unique blade shape. It does look like it clips a tiny bit there. A tiny bit. Just very slightly. So it's like a modified clip point, modified drop point. Got that very little belly and then a nice straight edge. Yeah, it goes up. So it's not completely straight. It kind of goes up and then into that belly. Pretty unique little blade. I'm kind of gawking at this blade. It's in Cryo D2, and it is like a black washed finish almost. Why don't we use one of Bobby's hanks and we'll wipe it off there. So yeah, it's almost like a black wash almost. I like that. They're using, hey, there's a little lock for this. So, okay, it's a little tab that comes into play there and doesn't let you move the liner over to unlock it. So just kind of like a secondary locking mechanism. I doubt it does anything when it's closed. Yeah, it doesn't even actuate when it's closed. So it's just for when it's open to provide you with a little bit of extra peace of mind, so to speak. So that's pretty cool. Typically, you don't see that. A lot of guys would say it's gimmicky. I think under the right circumstances, it would actually provide a good foundation for a secondary lock. You know, if you can do it properly. Typically, if this liner starts to fail, I guess it's more so you don't accidentally push the liner over. It's not really to increase the liner strength, so to speak. It's more for like an oopsie type deal, like you didn't mean to move the liner over. I would say, based off the looks and the feel of this knife, this is maybe one of their tactical looking knives, or based towards their tactical crowd. I don't know much about off-grid, so I don't know if they're tactical based. Are they a little bit of everything? I'm not sure. I'll have to do a little more history checking on off-grid before I do the overview. One thing else I'm noticing is, look at that. They got 3 screws in that little shorty pocket clip. So these are definitely overbuilt. Nice and thick. Let's see what that thickness is. I'm kind of interested because this is not a big knife as far as its length. We'll just pick a spot here. Yeah, that's almost 0.6. It's 0.59. So that's getting pretty thick. I would say most guys shoot for 0.5, like as an average. You know, a little smaller, maybe a little bigger, depending on the style of the knife. The pocket clip is reversible there, as you can see. Flipper knives are great for lefties and righties, except for the fact that the liner is right hand biased. But I've always found that using the liner left-handed is just as easy as it is right-handed. The only thing that you can't do is let it drop to your nail. You almost have to get it past its detent. What I do, lock it up. You have to get it past its detent ball. Then you can let it kind of go down. Can you? There you go. You could do it from the side. I guess I'm not as coordinated lefty as a normal lefty would be. But I like actuating a liner lock flipper with my left hand. I think it's pretty easy. You just give it a little force to the nail there, and then you can just let it drop. But anyway, you do have no milling in the scales. I'm wondering why they didn't mill some of that out for some weight relief. Yeah, I don't see any milling whatsoever in the scales. I wonder why they did that. Maybe to save on cost. I'm not sure how much this costs. I'm not sure of much with off-grid. I do like their presentation here. You get a little booklet with it. Nice foam insert for the knife. I like the knife. Cryo D2, if this knife is 50, 60 bucks, I would say it's a, good deal. I don't know if it's much more than that. Might be a little overpriced at that point. Over, say, 65 bucks. If it's more than that, I'd say it's probably a little overpriced. because you can start getting 14C, S30, 154, all right in that ballpark. So D2 gets outplayed a lot, especially nowadays. Tons and tons of companies have used it and moved past it. Some companies are still using it. I'm guessing maybe this is a little older, but I could be wrong. There are still many companies using D2. Not quite sure why they haven't switched to 14C or 154. I wouldn't really say Nitro V, but there's tons of other steels you could be experimenting with that are just all around better than D2. 154 really comes to mind with me. A lot of other guys would say 14C, which I love 14C as well, so that's another great choice. But if your price point's going to be $60, $70, $80, then you need to start looking at 14C, 154, and kind of get out of the D2 mindset on knives in that price range. There's still plenty of them out there as well. The action on this guy is very good. You can push button this bad boy. You can light switch it, very easy. Nice access to that liner, which I really appreciate. You can get it from the side, get it from the face there. Yeah, I like this little guy. I don't know how much it costs. For some reason, I want to say I've seen it and I felt like it was a little more than it should be. I could be wrong though. But for some reason, I want to say this was a little more on the cost heavy side than it was a cheaper, good deal type of idea. But I like it, all things considered. When we do the full overview, I'll have the price and a little bit more information on off-grid. I'm pretty sure they make fixed blades as well. But like I said, I'm not sure. I don't know anything much about off-grid. That'll do it, guys, for the first impressions of the off-grid knives Viper. Thank you to Bobby. Thank you to everyone who has hung around. If you are still here and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below the video. Give the video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this guy. Do you have any off-grid knives? Does it look like something you would like? Something you would hate? Let me know. Give Bobby a follow. Go check out his Etsy store. Otherwise, guys, I love you. Have a good night. Have a safe night. And I will catch you on the next one.